Gilli Pong.
Analyses atheism.
Hello, and welcome to Gilli Pong! Analyses atheism. Here we are gonna go into another field. We are gonna talk about one thing. Sadguru, this man from India, this Santa Claus being. This is one of the things that I realized because I was following what he had to say, and it resonated a lot with me. And I felt like I had a good, clear connection with God through this person. But then I saw this.
So in the session we just attended here at the Economic Forum, I think there was a sense of relief, actually, in your frankness. You brought up some issues that others are reluctant to bring up.
Always. All the religious groups are against me because I'm talking about population. They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
It may look like there are many problems, but actually there's only one problem. We are nice, but we're just too many. This we need to understand. Believe me, it is much easier to control human population than human aspirations. You cannot control human aspirations. You can easily control human population if everybody is focused on that. The nations, the religions of the world, various community leaders, everybody, if they are focused on seeing how to bring down the population of this planet, human population, so that other populations can live.
It is very important that everybody gets vaccinated. We need to understand health is not an absolute thing. Health is something that we achieve incrementally. So the same thing goes for the vaccination. Right now, vaccination is a must for everybody. Nobody should evolve philosophies of anti-vax. This is just rubbish right now, putting everybody's life to risk. Well, if you want to be anti-vax, go and live on a Himalayan peak where you're not in touch with any human being, it's fine. But if you're living in a city, town or a community, you must take vaccination right now.
So, here we understand what I'm trying to convey. You have these idols that people start worshipping, these men. And when you do not have a clear connection to God and don't know the difference between good and evil, then you can easily fall astray and start following these gurus that are basically just using tactics to try to convince you about their truth is better than anyone else's truth, therefore buy my book or follow my tribe or whatever their intentions are, which are not clear to me. But this person is not somebody you should be following. He is a part of the same plan as Bill Gates is following, and you should try to align yourself with a better understanding of what is going on in this world. So spiritual war happening, and there are so many people getting executed, getting depopulated, under population control, or whatever fancy word they can find for killing human beings. So that's what I wanted to kind of convey regarding Sadguru. Klaus Schwab. Who is that guy? Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab is a German engineer, economist, and a founder of World Economic Forum, the international organization for public-private cooperation, born in 1938 in Ravensburg, Germany. World Economic Forum, let's just see, atheist. Is he an atheist? I don't know. according to Conservopedia, Klaus Martin Schwab, born in Nazi Germany in 1938, is a far-left atheist who is the founder and executive chairman of the Globalist World Economic Forum. Okay, so we have a communistic atheist trying to change the world and influence people. Some mastermind who has a huge plan for the world. There must be like a webforum.org, so good organization. The COP pushing all the things that you as an atheist can easily fall trap to. Climate change, the world is ending, propaganda to believe that we have to depopulate the planet, we are a virus on the planet. This is just coming from a insane sociopathic mastermind who has all the money in the world in his back pocket. So, when we are analyzing atheism, when we are trying to understand the mindset of a person who does not believe that they are of a divine nature, they do not have a soul, it's okay to die, it's okay to kill, there's no meaning to it at all, then you can fall trap to these illusions and especially if you think free will is an illusion, then you're just a mindless robot walking around being subjected to your whatever next plan is gonna be created. World Economic Forum, can we find a video of him here? Intelligence.org. Oh, yeah, this is the plan. This is the transformation map. Let's see that. So here's a mastermind plan. 3D printing, 5G, accelerating clean hydrogen, advanced manufacturing, advanced materials, aerospace and aviation, Africa, that's just one topic, Afghanistan, fixing air pollution, artificial intelligence. And I think like one of his biggest thinkers is this Noah Harari or something is that called. Another atheist, Yuval Noah Harari, Israeli historian and author of popular science bestsellers. Sapiens, species. And he created this book, Homo Deus, which is kind of like the master plan of what Lucifer wants the human being to become. Be a deity in your own body. And you kind of, if you look at Beyoncé Knowles and what she's doing on stage, Jay-Z, all these Hollywood actors, they're trying to become deities, angels on earth, whatever the heck that means. So, Noah Harari, AI and the Future of the Humanity, from May, 2 weeks ago. Let me see if he's on YouTube here. Find some good YouTube videos where he's speaking about his stuff. What is consciousness? Let's go for that here. Let's see what he has to say about that.
Scientific studies often treat consciousness as a neutral observer of the world. In fact, consciousness is the only thing in the universe that involves suffering, which is the very opposite of neutral observation. While observation tries to capture the present reality as objectively as possible, at the core of any experience of suffering is a rejection of present reality. We might well define consciousness as the capacity to suffer. This approach also highlights the crucial political and ethical implications of the science of consciousness, since consciousness is linked to suffering, questions like what is consciousness and who has consciousness have a deep impact on ethic, politics, and the law, as is apparent in debates about abortion, animal rights, and the legal status of AI. The study of consciousness is not just a scientific enterprise. It is also an ethical and political enterprise. Questions like what is consciousness and who has consciousness have a deep impact on ethics and politics, on law, and on the moral choices we make every day. Therefore,
while we use our consciousness to try to decipher the understanding of what consciousness is, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
As scholars of consciousness, we should be aware of the political consequences or potential consequences of what we are researching and of what we are publishing. We have a heavy responsibility. In particular, we should remember that flawed scientific theories can have dangerous political fallout. Just think about the impact of erroneous theories regarding race and gender. When a century ago, scientists argued that Europeans constitute a superior race or that homosexuality is a sickness, these bogus theories did not remain confined to laboratories and seminar rooms.
Okay. All right. So he's gay. Okay. Just wanted to check.
They had a terrible destructive impact on the lives of billions of people outside the academic ivory tower. Adopting a political perspective is not just a matter of responsibility. It can also advance scientific work. This may sound counterintuitive because mixing politics with science is usually bad for science. But consciousness is a special case. A political outlook might actually help us make sense of the various scientific theories of consciousness. At present, there are several competing scientific theories of consciousness. Sometimes it is difficult to understand what they really mean and how they differ from one another.
You do not use science to evaluate what consciousness is. You're using consciousness while you're doing the science, right? It's kind of circular. So when you meditate and you pray and you use theology and you understand theology, there you understand where consciousness comes from. But if you are a skeptical atheist, consciousness is just a magical happening that has no idea coming from where or what, or there's so many intriguing billion different things happening at the same time. Regarding the thing that I was talking in my last video with Sam Harris, is like to understand the difference between this monkey mind that is giving you impulses. Do you use your mind to beat your heart? Do you use it to breathe when you're not thinking about breathing? Does it happen on its own? Who is digesting your food right now? Is it you? Are you thinking about it? How long would you live if you would control the impulses of your heart with your mind? With your monkey mind, with your impulsed mind. So you see that there's a happening going on. And that's just the body, right? Then you have the temperature that is around you. Is the outside world really real? How is the outside world to a person who doesn't have any sight, any eyes? Is it the ears that differentiate the space? You know, these are questions that are very hard to answer, especially if you're trying to do it scientifically. You can try to write thousands and thousands of pages in a book to try to analyze it and describe it. But that body of work can only be listened to on an audiobook, can only be analyzed through an AI and summarized in speech. So you always have this linear way of handling reality that is very slow coming in. And this guy is very scary, by the way, for me. This man is saying that humans are hackable. You can, he's all for depopulating the planet and following this World Economic Forum plan. These scientific versions of what is gender based on your sexuality. Does your soul have a gender? You know? This is a very, very difficult topic to go on. But if you're a human doing, and you're doing things to do things and do things, other things to stop doing other things, then you're always just doing. And that is programmable. That is the thing that you learn when you go through school. And it's so hard to stop doing. So hard to just sit somewhere and not do anything. And especially when you have this black mirror device constantly letting you know you have to think about something, you have to do something, you're late. And then people are allocating their time. Now I'm going to meditate while I run. And then they're running, trying to lose weight. So it's very scary. But I'm just introducing you to this person in order for you to understand how perverse the human consciousness can become when it has been programmed to believe that they don't have a soul. We're just animals, primates, based on evolution. Therefore, we can just do whatever the heck we want. We're just cattle. And there has been an organized attempt to make us believe that we are animals. And organized attempt to make us believe that we're supposed to eat bugs. You know? And that is generational stuff we're talking about. And if we don't wake up, then it's far less likely that our children will. Because they're already being captured by these devices and games that are so much more fun than reality. You know, going to work, going and building a house or doing something, real. Many of the kids that I've been seeing playing Dota 2, there's, they don't have any body mass. They don't have any muscle mass. They're just playing video games all day, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And got twitches and stuff, And I feel like this guy is teaching everyone to just have a coom pod where you're just sitting and, like on Wall-E's Disney movie where everybody was in the spaceship because Earth had become inhabitable, all this trash everywhere. And then everybody was just fat in their coom pods, had a huge screen, and they could get whatever sugar they wanted next desire. And that is how humanity is being trained. We're being depopulated, we're being created into a different world. And we have to fight back. And we do that by increasing our intelligence. And connecting to God.
Potential political consequences can clarify the differences between these various theories. As an essential first step, let's start with a definition of consciousness. What is consciousness? This is, of course, a controversial and confusing question. perhaps the most confusing question in the whole of science. Some argue that it's absolutely impossible to define consciousness. Others offer a bewildering list of different definitions. But
Just try to imagine that instead of using consciousness, and let me go back 30 seconds, and replace the word consciousness with God in everything that he says.
differences between these various theories. As an essential first step, let's start with the definition of consciousness.
God.
What is consciousness?
God.
This is, of course, a controversial and confusing question. Perhaps the most confusing question in the whole of science. Some argue that it's absolutely impossible to define consciousness.
God.
Others offer a bewildering list of different definitions. But from a political and ethical perspective, the definition of consciousness is extremely simple and extremely concrete. From a political and ethical perspective, consciousness is characterized by the potential to suffer. Consciousness is the capacity to suffer.
Why suffer? Why not consciousness as the capacity to experience bliss? To experience forgiveness, compassion, love, kindness, happiness. The capacity to have an understanding of emotions. You know, like this is holy science. So if you start reading books like the Bible and Jesus Christ's messages, like there you can understand what consciousness is and how what you do impacts others and yourself. The Stoics also, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus. These are all free books that you can find. And I just wanted to show you because I'm all for free information, as you might know by now. So, LibriVox.org, I think it is a website where you can get audiobooks that are in the free public domain. And if you look for instance, Epictetus, which is basically showing you, the Enchiridion by Epictetus. Epictetus was a Greek Stoic philosopher. The name given by his parents, if one was given, is not known. The word Epictetus in Greek simply means acquired, and he was a slave, I believe. Epictetus spent his youth as a slave in Rome to Epaphroditos, a very wealthy freedman of Nero. Even as a slave, Epictetus used his time productively studying Stoic philosophy under Musonius Rufus. He was eventually freed and lived a relatively hard life in ill health in Rome. So I think his feet were broken by his master. But he managed to create a book. And this is like 51 minutes. But each chapter in it is describing how you should act in life. How you should not experience as much suffering as when you are just a victim of circumstance. And he's a slave. He can't control anything around his own freedom. He can't go where he wants to go. So he's showing the Stoic philosophy of life and how to be Stoic calm when everything is crazy around you. This is an insight I just wanted to give you. I don't want to go through this. It takes a long time. But this, I would rather listen to people like Epictetus or Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius. Meditations by Emperor Marcus Aurelius Antonius. This is the same thing. It's extremely beautiful. And this is a soul enhancing exercise. If you put this on your headset and you go for a walk and you listen to this is 4 hour long, a much better version. And this is all free. You don't have to pay anything. It's free. But you know, the readers are donating their time. They're like open source, donating their time, and they don't get any money for it. So some of them are not as good readers as others. But you have to, you know, you're getting the information. But your monkey mind might say, this guy is pronouncing this word wrong. I can't listen to this. This is bullshit. You know? So, but if you absorb that and just meditate into listening to it, not trying to decipher it with your monkey mind, just allow it to happen. Just listen to this. These are much better scientists in consciousness than Noah Harari, who is pushing for propaganda being pushed out there.
Conscious entities, like you and me, can suffer, which is why we are ethical and political subjects. What happened?
Really crazy stuff. I'm not gonna watch this stuff. This is something, you know, if you want to go there and if you want to listen to this guy, very articulate, very intelligent. He's written many books, and he's a crazy person in my opinion. He's one of the evil emperors of our or potential evil emperors. He's like the Goebbels of Hitler, propaganda specialist of Klaus Schwab. And that is why, like, if you are suffering in your life and you're going through difficulty and you have this mindset of believing these atheistic savants, these smart people that are articulate and can talk about these things of illusion of free will or consciousness is the capacity to suffer. It's like, come on. You can be much smarter about it. But I just wanted to give you this short video, and I will continue traveling into analyzing atheism over the next few videos. Let's see how long I will go. But it's time to shine. Let's glow and ha de bra.
Gilli Pong.
Analyses atheism.